Welcome to the Over 60 Get Lean Challenge workout. Now, in today's workout, you'll be using a barbell or a pair of challenging hand weights, a jump rope, and a mat. We're going to begin with a warm up. Let's start with some heel raises. Let's begin. We'll just lift up and come back down. Just a couple of these, starting to heat up the body. And we're going to transition to a knee lift, and the arms will cross in front. So lifting the knee, crossing the arms, getting the heart rate elevated, getting ready to work. Getting about 12 reps here. And moving on, we're going to go ahead and transition to a diagonal reach. Again, about 12 reps. Warming up through the arms, the shoulders. And last one. Let's go ahead and move into the last exercise of the warm-up, a squat and a lunge back. 12 total reps here. Getting that lower body ready to work. Good, setting those hips back on the squat and then moving into the lunge. Taking breaks throughout the workout whenever you need it. All right, last one. Let's take a breath in, warm up complete, exhale, and again breathe in and exhale. All right, go ahead and grab a pair of challenging hand weights or a barbell. And we're going to go ahead and move into round one of our circuit workout today. So go ahead and grab your barbell or your challenging weights. And if you have a barbell, we're going to lift it up and place it on the meaty part of the shoulders. And we're going to move right into squats. Here we go. It's 12 reps. So hinging from the hips, engaging the core, sliding the hips back, and then coming up and squeezing the glutes at the top of the movement. And your goal is for this to be really challenging, and your weight should be heavy enough so that it makes it difficult to get through the last 1 to 2 reps. So think about the weight you're using to help you determine if you need to go heavier or lighter. All right, let's release. Let's put the weights down. And then go ahead and grab a jump rope. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can just mimic the movement. All right, we're going to get about 50 reps here. Ready, and let's begin. Good, almost there. All right, let's move on back to a strength-based exercise. We're going to move on to the deadlift, so grab your hand weights or your barbell. And let's bring our hands right outside the shoulders, roll the shoulders back, ready, and let's begin. So we're going to slide down the legs, hinging from the hips. Knees are soft, leading with the chest. Again, core turned on. Knees are slightly bent as you slide down the legs, keeping the weights close to the body. Working hamstrings, glutes. And getting about 12 total reps here. Taking breaks whenever you need it. And again, bring awareness to your weight selection. Again, making sure it's challenging enough so that it's difficult to get through the last few reps. All right, let's go ahead and put your weights down. And let's move on to a cardio-based exercise. And it's going to be jumping jack. So let's begin. About 25 reps here. At your own pace. All right, nice work. Take a breath in. Exhale. Again, breathe in and exhale. All right, go ahead and grab some water. And we're going to get ready for a round 2. All right, so go ahead and grab your challenging weights or your barbell. And we're going to move back to the squats. So if you have the barbell, lifting the barbell and placing it on the meaty part of the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and squat. Moving into squats as we slide the hips back, engaging the core in about 12 reps. Keeping a nice neutral spine. Sliding those hips way back. All right, last one, go ahead and place your weights down. And let's move on to a cardio-based exercise. It's going to be a power squat. Ready, and let's begin. So jump wide and together. Getting about 12 reps here. All right, nice work. Take a breath in. Exhale again, breathe in. Exhale. And back to a strength-based exercise. So grab your weights. And we're going to move back to the deadlift. So rolling the shoulders back, engaging the core. And let's begin. Hinge from the hips. Getting about 12 reps. Again, keeping the weights close to the body. And sliding down those legs. And as you rise, squeezing and engaging the glutes. Keeping a nice neutral spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Again, 12 total reps. All right, the last one. And let's go ahead and put the weights down. And go ahead and take a moment to grab some water and your jump rope. All right, 50 reps. Let's begin. All right, nice work. You can go ahead and put your jump rope down. Let's go ahead and take a breath in. Exhale again, breathe in and exhale. So go ahead and grab your mat. Take another sip of water if you'd like. And we're getting ready for our last 2 exercises. And the first one will be push-ups. So before we take it down to the floor, take a breath in and exhale. All right, so these can be done on your knees or toes. Getting about 10 total reps. Let's begin. Again, nice and neutral spine here from the crown of the head to the heels. Core is turned on. Almost there. All right. Let's go ahead and take a seat and just bring our hands behind, get a little chest stretch. And we'll move on to the next exercise, which is going to be for core up down plank. So we'll go from elbows to wrist. Ready? Let's begin. So let's get forward, leading with the right arm, keeping the shoulders and hips as square as you can. And now we'll change and lead with the left arm. 4 more reps. 8 total here. Last 2. And last 1. All right, let's just stretch back. So pushing the hips back, down face dog. Stretching and lengthening your spine. And when you're ready, look to your hands, bend your knees. Let's step wide and drop the hips for a yogi squat. And just use your elbows to open the knees and lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone. All right, let's go ahead and just transition to a forward fold and roll up. Take a breath in, exhale, again, breathe in, exhale. And let's just finish with balance, lifting that right knee, holding for about 20 seconds. And nice work. Take a breath in, exhale, and again breathe in, exhale, and transitioning to the other side. So lifting the opposite knee, balancing for about 20 seconds. All right, workout is complete. Now don't forget to cool down and stretch or repeat this workout for an additional challenge.